Perfect. Nice. Good to have you. Let's start in a seated position. We have all our toys. We'll play with different toys during our yin class, but let's start to kind of come into a space of meditation, meditative state, and also starting to kind of look within, if we could say it like that, passing a threshold. So come into a comfortable seat, settle into that seat, and then commit to stillness. Take a nice deep breath in and a soft breath out. With the next 2-3 slow breaths, just let go of your day, whether it was a busy or quiet day. Just let the past be the past. And with every breath, breathe in the experience of being in the now, feeling your breath, even though you were breathing the entire day. This might be your first conscious breath, that you are aware of the air traveling into the body and out of the body. And then a couple more rounds of breath to also let go of whatever the future entails. It will be whatever it will be. Partially known, but mostly unknown. In the end, this single breath that you take is the real life. The other stuff is the past or the future. So take a couple more rounds of breath. Noticing the expansion of the rib cage, knowing that your diaphragm is moving inside your body. Even your organs are moving inside your body every time you breathe. And most of you have a long weekend ahead of you. And it's a luxury to have time and to design your day, your days, according to what you need. No external expectations or pressure or to-do lists. So while we sit here and feel into what our intention might be for this practice, that could also be an intention for the rest of your weekend. What is it that you need? To take care of yourself first. Is it rest? Is it activity? Is it socializing? What brings you back to a space where you feel more balanced? The balance between the outer world and your inner world. And how can you make those two worlds closer to each other? So whoever you feel you are on the inside, that is who you are to the outer world. Authentic, no hiding, just you being you. And then let's start our practice with a short pranayama. If you feel, let's do it on our backs, actually, let's come onto our backs, because some people feel a little dizzy with this breathing. So if you're lying down, the chances of you feeling dizzy, you feel more safer here. It's not hectic, but I have heard people feel a little lightheaded. And if you feel that, just embrace that. It's part of this way of breathing. So the breath goes as follows. You breathe fully in, and then you second breath in, and then you exhale out of the mouth. We'll do it for a full minute. Then when I say exhale, you just exhale and hold the exhale. And I'll let you know when to breathe in again. So let's do it in a rhythm that we can do it together. So first, take a breath into the nose. One in and one nice slow breath out. And there you go, breathe in. Halfway. Next exhale, breathe out and stay with the air out of your body and hold. You might feel it float up to the skull. That's okay. Soften your face. Remain with your exhale retention. Ten more seconds. And slowly breathe in. Once you're full, sip another little bit of air in. And then exhale, sigh softly. I really enjoy that pranayama. It allows you to really connect with the inner space, inner feeling. And now let's come into our first asana. If you want to use a prop, maybe between your knees, you could use a block, a pillow that you place between the knees. I'm actually going to use a pillow. You feel nicer. If you have a bolster, you can even place it on the left side of your body and then turn your right knee over. So the right knee is supported by the bolster. Another option is to bring a prop in between your legs, in between your knees, and just let everything fall over towards the left side. So the knees come over towards the left side. You can shimmy so your shoulders are almost flat to the floor. And then soften your toes. Sometimes we hold on to the feet, they stay active. So allow your body to be soft. Now, here, the only last adjustment that you might want to feel into is moving your knees closer to your face or further away from the face. If you move them further away from the face, there's a little bit more length in the lower back. For some, that feels nicer. There's no wrong or right. You're in a twist, it's all good. So if you feel that the knees close to your face is a little bit too much, give yourself space. It's an 8 out of 10 space of sensation. And those are the three kind of principles of our yin practice. You find the shape and go for an 8 out of 10 in the felt sense experience. And then we commit to being still. And we allow time to do its healing in a space of just being. Not doing, but being. And the breath, slow breaths, deep breaths. And yeah, maybe this is the last movement you might want to do, and that is to place your left hand somewhere on your belly or your rib cage. If you really enjoy that extra connection to the breath. The palm can help remind you of the breath. And then you don't only feel the breath from the inside, moving the ribcage, but you also touch. So with that left hand, you can feel the rising and falling of your chest. And then we stay still. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Surrender into the slowness, the stillness, the calmness. If a sigh kind of just arrives randomly, you can feel it build up and you're like, oh, just let it be there. Let it slide off you. Couple more rounds of breath here. Breathe specifically into that side part of the body, the right side. And then slowly bring your knees back up. Remove your prop. And just place your feet hip width apart. You can place your right hand on your tummy and your left hand somewhere on your heart. Notice how with every slow breath and the moving towards, even though we're still, but inviting this stillness allows for some suffering, not suffering, sorry, softening, not the suffering, softening. Every exhale, allow yourself to soften. And here in this space, I will happily walk around and give you a strap if you don't have one yet. Emma and Paul, if you have a strap or even a belt, a leather belt. Do you have a strap, Margarita? You have one, hey? You have one? Would you like one? Two more. Cool. We have enough. Perfect. And then you can lift your right leg up towards the sky and bring the belt around the sole of the foot. Now watch your, so the place where you hold onto the strap, if you feel that the back of your shoulder blades are lifted off the floor, just give yourself some space. So the back of the shoulder blades are on the floor. The right leg. And the left foot can still be on the floor. Take a little bend, so you're not overextending the leg, a little bend in the knee, and then you can start to move the foot more towards the top of your mat, more towards your head, let's say. And now you have a last option, which you can take now or at any stage where you feel maybe ready. You can also test it out and then return. Is to extend the left leg. It doesn't add much, but if you can just feel, close your eyes and feel what feels best for you. And take a breath in. And a nice breath out. Soften the arms and the shoulders. And if the leg shakes, that's okay. If it gets too much and it really irritates you and it moves you away from a meditative place and it starts to just be a little bit overwhelming, then you obviously can back off. But shaking just means it's like a new thing to the body. And it goes like, oh, what your central nervous system, it's almost like a little bit of electricity going like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. And then it starts to shake. So allow it, it's okay if it's not too unpleasant. I always like philosophical, deep conversations. I enjoy them with my friends, just about life, you know, it's that storytelling aspect of life. Stories through movies, stories as a child, Disney, like these patterns. Often there are patterns in these stories. There's a hero, or there's a conflict, or there's a calling towards an adventure, and then there is the struggle and the return home and the transformation. There's often a pattern in these stories, and they are important. Our ancestors used to share stories. And one of the things that I've been kind of contemplating on, which I was talking over coffee with a friend with, is your inner world and your outer world. Now, first of all, we are now spending some time with the inner world. We're leaving the outer world to be. We're closing our eyes and just feeling, almost having an inner dialogue, your thoughts, your emotions that come in full images of the day, or even random stuff that comes up. You're like, where did that come from? Meanwhile, you stay with the breath to stay into the present. And some people don't really care about the inner world. Even some of my friends, they're like, oh yeah, no, that's too hippie. And then I compare it to the planet and the ocean. We live on this planet, we know it, but there's a whole world out there in the ocean, an entire universe. And some people like to explore it, and some people are quite happy here on Earth. But when it comes to the outer world and the inner world, I'm curious. It helps me because I feel that the better I know myself, the better I can refine what to aim at in the outer world. That truth comes from a place within. Sometimes you just need some stillness to hear it. So let's be still for the last couple of rounds of breath. Maybe the leg can go even closer. Maybe you want to bend your left knee or extend the left leg, or just be and just surrender into the shape. You're not cold, Rita? Okay. I feel a little draft, so I see you're got less clothes on than me. If you get cold, just let me know. All right, slowly give yourself a little bit of slack there and place both feet into your belt. We won't be here for long, but close your eyes and just feel a difference. Maybe between the right and the left leg, probably specifically the back line. You don't have to really go into a stretch, but the fact that they're both up, this allows you to kind of compare the energy in the legs. And then place the right sole of the foot onto the floor. The belt stays over the left foot. And just take it easy. First settle in, find a place for the strap with the soles of the foot. I like around the balls of the feet. Some people like the arch of the feet. I like on the ball. And then a soft bend in the knee, just a little bend, specifically for people that have overextension. Make sure you're not hanging in those joints, but there's a bit of a bend. And then you can have the check of your shoulder blades on the floor. Maybe move the feet already a little bit, but give your body time. It needs the time. Oh, I feel an interesting sensation in the right foot, actually, because also bringing the feet up does something to the bloodstream and etc., etc. And then you can keep the right foot on the floor, or at some stage, or now, start to extend that right leg along the floor. Chin a little in, so the back of the neck is long, the neck is in line with the spine. Now you have found your shape, and we can again commit to that stillness, that physical stillness, that mental place. And just to continue on the outer world, inner world. Another friend of mine, we were discussing, and they said, well, I feel that the closer, or let's say the further away the distance is between who I feel I am on the inside and who I am or who I need to be, the roles that we need to play in this life, maybe specifically in environments that might not even feel like they're ours. The bigger the distance, the more suffering there is, because there's a incongruency almost. So interesting phenomenon, no judgment there, just something to observe. Where do we put masks? Where do we play roles? We play a role. We're friends, we're colleagues, we're fathers, we're brothers, we're sisters. Those are all kind of ways of linking to our own identity. But they are just roles in this movie called Your Life, and you are the main character. But I hope that the character in the movie with your friends, or the character in the movie with your family, with your colleagues, is a similar character, and that the character doesn't have to change too much. I think that is quite a nice thing to think about and to work towards. So we can just be ourselves. We look within to feel and to notice the truth of who we are. And yeah, maybe some people won't agree, but that's okay. Then there's less guilt, less pretending. And I thought it was quite a beautiful thing to work with and observe. Stay with your breath. What can you soften on the next exhale? Take another deep breath in. And then again, place both feet in your strap. Be soft and gentle here. Just take a couple of rounds of breath. Notice the sensations in the right foot and the left foot. Lovely. And then bend your legs, unstrap your strap of your feet, and just place your feet hip width apart. I just hold so quickly. And then we can go move into the spinal twist on the other side. So either place the bolster or the pillow on the right side of your body, your knees, and let your knees fall over to the side. Reshuffle your shoulders. And then maybe feel into where you want the knees to be. The right side, specifically when it comes to asymmetrical shapes, you might be surprised that right and left will feel slightly different and that the space is different. And then tell your toes to relax. That has a ripple effect. It's if you, are you okay, Emma? If you focus on the outer edges of the body and tell them to relax, then often the rest will follow. The toes will relax, and as a result, the ankles will relax, the feet, the knees, and it kind of works up. The same way you can activate the body from somewhere deep within and then start to activate everything. You can now soften everything. The right hand can be on the body if that's something you enjoy, just to have that extra connection with breath. Soften the lips, maybe swallow a couple of times. I'm happy that I can live a life where I have no hidden agendas, no secrets. Of course, you've got your little own secrets inside, but you know, the big secrets and having to lie about things now brings stress to the central nervous system, to have to mold yourself into different shapes. There's many practices, there's an ecology of practices that we can include in our lives to know ourselves better. I think it's one of the gifts that yoga gives us. As you mature, you know yourself better, I think. But there's also a conscious choice to want to know yourself better. What do I like? What do I not like? What am I good at? What am I not so good at? What kind of movies make me feel good and make me rest? What kind of movies haunt me at night? And do I really want that kind of energy in my life? What kind of people do I like to surround myself with? All those micro choices summed up become your life. And there's so much out there to explore. So choices are kind of necessary. And that space is like feeding the soul. We feed our body with food. We feed our thoughts and our minds with maybe intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, our heart with love, and yeah, it all needs to be digested. But what feeds your soul? Nourish all the layers of your being, the body, the mind, the heart, and soul. What makes you feel fully awake? Which people make you feel fully awake and supported? And also which people don't. Stay with your breath. Oh, and as yawn, a nice sigh. Let it just be there. This is almost already preparing you for your night ahead. Calming your central nervous system down. Preparing your body for rest, recovery, restoring, rejuvenating. And slowly put your prop to the side or leave it there and just bring your feet back to the center. Take a moment to rebound, to feel in between the shapes. And then slowly we roll onto a side. We can come up to a kneeling position. We'll do some footwork. Toe seat. So we have a lot of nerve endings in the soles of our feet. And it's actually very healthy to walk barefoot. So you can come onto your toes, even spread them a little bit, toes together, and then you can bring your knees down. Now, for some, if you've got really tight soles of the feet, it might be nicer to have a prop. Give yourself, again, an 8 out of 10. We're not here to have a facial expression that is like, whoa. But if you feel like, oh, I can actually sit here, we won't stay here for long. I'll wait for you. Yeah. Just 1 minute. And let's just let our hands rest on the shoulder, on your thighs. And then breathe spaciousness into the chest. Maybe pretend that you've got big wings and you're breathing space. So every time you breathe in, it's like, and on the exhale, you keep that spaciousness, but there is a softness. And then breathe back in. And breathe back out. If it's getting too much, of course, you can move out. We've got around 2-3 more rounds of breath. Really feel that broadening of the chest, front, side, in the back. Broadening of the collarbones. A filling up of the armpits. All right, that was 1 minute. So you can lean forward. Most people feel this. And then maybe tap your feet. Very good to do. If you have a lot of shoes with heels, the feet often become a little bit more tight. Okay, and then the counter for that is actually just a point of the feet. Interestingly, just so you know, there are people that have very tight feet here in the front. Their feet look like that. Even they can't flatten the front of the feet. Most of us actually are quite fine here. But if you need to put a rolled towel underneath there, feel free. And if this is a lot easier, then just enjoy it and focus on the breath. Again, just really breathing. Space. I've got different images that help me translate or even imagine how that breath can feel and how that breath expands. Sometimes I think of King Kong, like this big chest, rounded chest, and breathing into the front, but also the side and the back. The wings can help. Whatever image, maybe you have a very different image that comes up to you. But feel lightness underneath the armpits. A spreading of the chest. It almost feels a little bit too upright and almost like a bit arrogant to be this up. Lean into the softness of the back of the skull. Keep the back of the heart soft as well. So breathe into the back of the heart, the back of the skull. Then open your eyes. That was also a minute, probably a lot. Felt shorter. It felt shorter, but it was the same time. And then you can come onto your tummy. Option to bring a prop with for a soft back bend. So options are, you can just place your elbows under your shoulders. Wait, with this thing, you can't really see. If you have a sensitive lower back, you can place the elbows a little bit more in front and you're lower to the floor and it brings less pressure in the lower back. Letting the head rest on something. Your brain likes that, your neck muscles like that. Or you can even slide your bolster under you. Your breast go, if you have breasts, they go over it. And then maybe the last little thing, just roll your knees a little in. So instead of having the feet out, roll your knees a little in a little bit of an inwards rotation of the thighs. Good. And literally with every exhale, tell your shoulders to soften, to melt. We hold on to our challenges and our stress into our neck and shoulders. Tell your brain to relax and soften. Even the tongue inside your mouth. It helps me to swallow, and then it helps me to soften my jaw or weten my lips with my tongue for just a moment. Or a yawn, or a fake yawn. And breathe all the way down to your lower back, even into the buttocks. Imagine that you can breathe all the way to the back of the heart, to the lower back, to the sides. Almost that you can breathe all the way down to your pelvis, that you can breathe air towards the buttocks. Even if you're just imagining it, it will send energy there. Or maybe you'll really feel. Take one more deep breath in. And a nice sigh out. I'll probably have a print on my forehead now from that block, like you've had a massage. And then slowly move your props to the side and just for a moment, come and lie onto your tummy. You can use your hands as a pillow. Take a deep breath into your big toes, all the way down, 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 into the legs, into the pelvis, into the chest. And then exhale. 2 more like that. Pretend that you're breathing into the chest, into the tummy, into the hips, into the legs, into the knees, into the ankles. Your body feels almost a little lighter, and then exhale, let it be heavy and melt. One more time. And bring your hands next to your rib cage and come up to a seated position. You can bring your legs to the front and place the soles of the feet together. Different people, different options. So if your hips are quite tight and you want to place something under the knees, could be pillows on each side. And know that you also have a choice to bring the feet closer or further away. I'm going to go for further away. And I'm even going to place that as a support. Then before you come forward, walk your sit bones a little bit backwards. So there's a slight tilt of the hips. And then come all the way over your legs. If you want something under your head as a support, Feel free. Nice, Paul. Is that your cat, Paul? Distracting you? I thought so. Can't see the cat, but I thought that was it. Sweet. Have you noticed most of the people online are cat freaks like I am. And my cat only comes and sit with me when my central nervous system is calm. So when you actually sit still for a while, they'll come to you. When you're moving around, and even when you're sitting still, but your central nervous system is kind of on edge and stressed, they feel it. I'm convinced that they can feel it. They are a big reminder for me to slow down. And you can't cheat them. It's the instincts. But that also means, I truly believe that our central nervous systems talk to each other. We can feel each other on a deep, deep level. Not on an intellectual place, but on a felt sense, almost like a radiation kind of place. Before there were words for us to express how we felt, we could already feel each other. So that is still in us. Soften your shoulders, breathe into the back of the heart, soften the back of the heart, soften the back of the skull. And then slowly, slowly roll back up. Make sure you stay warm for the last resting pose. But before we do our resting pose, I'm just going to show you something that I really enjoy doing. So it's called a pumping. So it's a pumping of your feet. Your feet are relaxed, so they're not tense. But actually, because your feet are slowly moving, your whole body is moving. And we'll just do that for a little while. It's really calming for your central nervous system. And then we'll rest. So come onto your back, put some extra clothing on if you want to put some extra clothing on because the sun is setting and you can feel the temperature drop. And then as soon as you're ready, start to kind of first relax your feet. I sometimes even remind myself how to relax my feet by wiggling the toes. And then your heels are in contact with the mat, and that's the initiation. So the feet just go boom, 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 boom. And the whole body moves because of it. Relax, relax, relax. So it's a relaxing of the feet. You don't do anything. Don't do anything. Yeah. Maybe you can find it yourself, but keep the feet relaxed. So relax your feet. Do nothing. Just let me do it. Yeah. It's actually easier when someone else does it, but maybe you can find the similar feel. I'll do it for all of you. So just relax your feet and do nothing. Nothing. Yeah. It's nice, huh? It's very, very calming for your central nervous system. It's nicer to receive actually than to do it to yourself. Jeremy, just relax and do nothing. Relax your feet. Do nothing. Yeah, just receive. 4, 3, 2. Nice. Last but not least. Relax. Do nothing. Yeah. 5. Take a deep breath in and relax. Take a deep breath in and stay in that soft place for now. And keep your eyes closed to stay connected to that inner world, that place within. And then you can start to slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Passing the threshold of being completely with yourself, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your body, your breath, the movements, to slowly allowing yourself to become aware of the people around you, the building, the walls of the building, the space outside whatever building, and the world that awaits us for another lovely sunset and evening. You can stretch yourself. Nice. Notice how you feel, and then in your own time, you've got time, roll to a side and gently come back up into a seated position. Your breath is always there for you to calm you down, to connect to the present moment. And it's a beautiful tool that is with us always. We can't forget the breath. Well, we can forget to consciously breathe, but we can't leave it at home. It's always with us. So when you feel that life gets a bit overwhelming, just take a couple of deep, slow breaths and something will shift. If you want to close the practice with the hands in front of the heart, you may. Thank you very much for showing up for yourself and for practicing self-care. Enjoy the rest of this evening. Namaste. Absolute pleasure. So I'll be here next Thursday to teach the yin. The Tuesday is a problem because I have a photo shoot in town. So I suggest I teach on Wednesday morning again. So if you're here on Wednesday morning and you want to practice, also the people online, and then from the week after, we'll go back to our normal Tuesday and Thursday. Have a lovely evening. Hi, Paul.